sparkly steamrollers, or in this case multiple sparkly vehicles, because this is the Mashin series from Mashin Sentai Kiramager. These were the individual like mecha or Zords sold throughout the Mashin Sentai Kiramager line. These have not seen a release in Power Rangers. These are all 100% Japanese so far, so I cannot do an American comparison in this video because there is no American version. As you can see, all of them are currently in their stone modes, organised in no particular order. When these released in 2020, because I was expecting to do at least 2 more on top of this lot, but this lot is okay as it is because they released 5. In the first wave, I think they had a set which contained Roland and Lifton, these two right here. I think later on, when Kirame Silver was introduced, they had another set which had Dustan and Magellan here in green. And Carrie here was sold with the Mashin base set when for the release of Kiramager products. Now this of course meant that Carrie was more expensive. Now yeah, I did buy all of these Mashin things on CS Toys. However, I did buy Carrie in advance because I knew Carrie would be more difficult to find because Carrie came with an additional set that I don't think many people bought when it came out. So that makes Carrie just a tiny bit more rare, a tiny bit more difficult to get. Got a bit paranoid about that, so that's why I bought Carrie in advance. And then later I bought the other 4. The other 4 were a bit easier to find and not as expensive as Carrie because they all came in again in the individual 2-packs, although I did buy them separately. I didn't buy the 2-packs, hence why I've got no packaging here to show you. Anyway, so the first one I'm going to show you today is, because I'm going to do all 5, I'm going to do a Roland. As you can see, Roland in their stone form, nice orange. You could call this amber if you want, amber stone form. Very nice orange colour. Again, all of these are molded in translucent plastic to like represent sparkle, which I do like. I do like the idea of, because it is translucent. Personally, in my opinion, if Hasbro were to get a hold of these, I think they might have injected glitter into them, but because they can mark a sparkly effect, but that might just be Hasbro showing off at that point. Anyway, you can see that there's a little sparkly sticker in the front here. Very nice going on. Here is a look at the top. Look at the side. It looks the same on both sides. There you go. Look at the bottom and look on the back. Now, to transform this guy into his Mashin form, he turns into a steamroller. Firstly, you've got to, there's a little bit of sticker on. This actually comes up at the side here. As you can see, it kind of lifts up. So lift that up, and then pull the back wheel out like that. Just folds out like this. And this is Mashin Roland in its steamroller form. What do I think of this form? Yeah, it's a very heavy steamroller. I don't know which way. I think this is the way. I think this is its front because of the 2 metallic silver stickers. But yeah, this has got a total of 3 rolling wheels because this part here's got 2. This one's what? There's 1, 2, and then 1 more here. So it's got a really big amount of rolling. It's got an amount of big rolling wheels. Look at the bottom. You can see it in more translucent orange plastic. And of course, all these Mashins have got weapon modes. I'm going to do Mashin Roland's weapon mode now. To get to a Mashin Roland's weapon mode, you've got to fold down this part here. I don't know what this top part's supposed to be. It goes up like this, but I don't know what it is. So fold that down, and then you take the 2 wheels here at the back, and then fold them open like this. Do the same on this side. Fold them all the way around to the top wheel, and that reveals a hammer, a handle, and this is the weapon mode. This is a hammer mode. It's quite a big hammer, I'm not gonna lie. There is some nice molded detail on the side there. Hammer. And yeah, all these wheels do still do spin. In fact, there's a bit on the show where they take the hammer and roll it up and down like an actual steamroller on the monster of the week. I don't know what episode that was. I think it might have been episode 4 or 5. I don't know. I can't remember because it was a while since I watched Kiramager. But again, a nice hammer mode going on. It's quite, again, like I said before, it's quite a big hammer. I do really like. It's a good start to the collection. And of course, the next one we have is Mashin Lift On. This is the like a cyan colour Mashin. This is a nice contrast to the Roland that came in the same set. Again, like with Roland, there's like a little sparkly sticker in at the front there. Here's a look at the side, front, side, top, and the bottom. Now, of course, this is one of the 2 stone modes, because the other one is carry, where since the wheels are exposed, you can kind of trundle the stone along like this and not down the back of the desk, because I don't want to have to go down there. Besides, these are from Japan. I don't want to lose them because they cost a blooming lot to actually get to the UK. Okay, so to transform this to Mashin mode, because it transforms to a forklift, you've got to pull out this front part here like this, and you've got to take the top part here, fold it all the way around like this, and then it drops down. Click it into place if you want. You don't have to. You can take this top part here and it drops down. So now it's in forklift mode, and I am not really used to seeing forklift trucks with the little lift part at the back. It's normally at the front, but this is a nice change. Very nicely painted, I must say, because there's some black paint going on. Of course, this little fork is nicely molded as well. Details on the bottom there, very nicely done. Of course, with this you can move the little fork up and down. It doesn't really stay locked in at the top. It does lock in at the bottom though, as you can see. Very nice. And to get this to weapon mode, all you do is you lift up the fork here. In fact, you lift it up all the way, and then move it to the top. Move this piece up, and move the cabin in. At the bottom there's like a little handle you fold out. Just going to show that off a bit more. There's a handle here you do fold out here. And now it's in weapon mode. This is like a little trident mode. What do I think of this? I must say, for a trident weapon, the bottom is actually surprisingly bulky. But yeah, whatever gets the job done, I suppose. It still is a trident. But again, this is a bit bulky. I mean, tridents aren't really like that in real life, are they? They're more like Sin. But yeah, they had to make this work somehow. I like the inclusion of the little fold-out handles, though. They do. Oh, you can actually fold them out all the way like this, at the back there. Okay, so now actually I might as well just keep carry out because lift on out, because it's carry is lift on's important for this next one, which is carry. Now carry looks purple on camera, but looks more like a I want to say lilac colour, if that's the right colour. What did we bring in? Dust on. Yeah, Dustin's colour looks the same, like navy, but yeah, Carrie does look a bit purple. I don't think they look quite as purple as they look a bit more bluish in person, but yeah, it just looks more blue purple on camera, which isn't really necessarily a problem. As you can see, here's some detail. There's actually quite a lot more detail actually here on the back, as you can see. Very nicely done. Side as well. Yeah. Bottom. And the top. Now, one thing you will notice about this design is, if you've been paying attention, it does look a bit like, it does kind of vaguely resemble Lift On, and the transformation is kind of the same. So like with Carry, not Lift On, not Carry, like with Lift On, you pull out the front cabin here, then you squish this top part down, but then you fold out the little carrying platform, and this is Carry. It's a very, I want to say quite an unusual vehicle. I don't really see this kind of vehicle in Sentai. It's very nice and makes for a nice change. Nice molded detail on the actual platform there. There's some white paint going on the bottom as well. But yeah, this does have a bit of a resemblance to Lift On. As you can see, it's basically the same mold for the front part, the wheels and everything going on, but of course, this little slidey piece was interchanged because it is different because this is flat, this is like a fork. I don't mind, it does enough different for me to consider it to be a different vehicle. I suppose they did it like that in order for people to say, oh, it doesn't matter if we miss out on this, but don't forget this is in the show, it's a weapon in the show, it's not a toy only thing. So yeah, this is part of the Zord line, part of the Mashin line, and of course, this also has a weapon mode. It's a different weapon mode actually. And to get to it, you just have to push out the platform here again, push in the cabin, and then fold out the handle on the side. Where's the handle? This handle doesn't really want to come out as easily, but there we go, there's the handle. And this is like a little shield, a barrier, which, yeah, I do like. It looks nice for a little shield. Again, the shield, because it's all done in this translucent plastic, it does kind of give like a glass shield effect, which if you think about it, glass shield isn't really that effective, but whatever, it's Sentai, nothing ever makes sense in Sentai sometimes. Like, a new robot coalition can suddenly defeat a big monster. And the next Mashin we have is Dust On. This is its stone mode, and I must say the sparkly sticker on the front, I enjoy this. It looks nice. Dust On. It's like this navy blue, which, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll get to that later. There's like a little suspicious little peg at the bottom, which we will get to later, if I remember, of course. And to transform dust onto vehicle mode, it's pretty simple. This front part just drops down. This front part is very nicely painted. It's got some nice white and black on it. It's meant to be a recycling truck, I think. Although I'm not sure, that's what I have managed to figure out. This does feel nice to fold up and down again, I must add. I did point out a little peg on the, like a hole on the bottom earlier, because when this is in weapon mode, because these two, Dust On and Magellan, these are both compatible, because they've both got little peg holes on them. Look, here's Magellan's hole here, and here's Dust On's hole at the bottom, right there. Now the reason for this is because they work with Gigant Driller, because these did release with Mashin Dorijan, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and and because they do work with Gigant Driller, they do have holes for him, and they also have handles for Kiramager and the other robots. I think they're compatible with the other Kiramager robots at least. Now, to get this guy to weapon mode, all you need to do is pull out the back part here and move it down a bit like this. And this top part just folds up like this. There we go. And then there's like a little handle here that comes out on the side here. So it just comes out of there. It's like a peg. And this is vacuum mode. I know it's a very random weapon idea for a Sentai robot, but that's kind of Sentai. That's just some parts of Sentai, because Sentai's random, like a vacuum. It's meant to have some kind of comedy value, I'm sure. Of course, the handle here and the little hole there means it's compatible with both Kiramager and Gigant Driller, both of which hopefully should be appearing on this channel in the future. I can't say when exactly, but that's on my schedule list to buy at least. Very nice weapon idea, although I did remember seeing when this was released, I saw a few people complaining it's a vacuum, why is this a weapon? It's a bit stupid, but that's the point. It's meant to be a bit funny, because it's not a thing you'd expect in a Sentai like Power Rangers show, is it? And some part of me thinks that wouldn't fly with Hasbro. I think if this was Disney doing the adaptation, they'd like it, because in Disney, don't forget, they had the ninja scarf and the stamp as well, of Ninja Storm, so that went well with them. Okay, so the last Mashin we've got is Mashin Magellan, or Mixalan, as I've been told the translation is. There's another little sparkly stick at the bottom there, right here, underneath above where my thumb is. Very nice lime green colour, I must add. So Very nice little design. It does, of course, turn into a mixer, a cement mixer, which we will do now. So simply, oh god, this transformation is actually quite. It's got 2 moving parts, which is the first. No, it's not the first. It's actually never mind. Basically, I was going to say it's the first Mashin we have 2 moving parts for a transmission, but now I had to look at carry and lift on, and no. So what you do basically is you, in this position, you move this side up like this, and then the front piece here gets spun around like this. So the blue side gets spun around like this, and then you close this up again like this. Or you could just do it like this if you want. Just fold out the center piece here. And this is in mixer mode. So it's a cement mixer. Again, they've done a nice job on the paint. There's some metallic paint on here. And there's a massive sparkly sticker on like a little cylinder inside the little mixing barrel. And you can spin the barrel like this. Very nice. In fact, the green colour and the whole mixer aesthetic just reminds me of a Go-Go mixer, I think it was, from Bulkenja from 2006. Similar construction vibe going on here. So yes, very nice little design. Look at a little mini mixer. And of course, this also does have a weapon mode, and to get to that, you can either spin this thing around like this, or you could just bring this down, spin this around, bring it back up again. Handle at the bottom again, like that, and then this little blue part just comes down, and it turns into like a laser mode or gun mode. I'm going to call it a laser because I think that's just the term they just use for guns these days. I don't know. In fact, I think this was the last series. Kiramager was the last series Hasbro has the rights to at the moment. They don't have anything from 2021 to now, so that's no Zenkaiger, Don Brothers, King Oja, or Boom Boomja. So it's like they designed these vehicles knowing that Hasbro would maybe want them, or Saban at the time. Maybe they knew that those guys would want them. I don't know. Although to be honest, when this was being broadcast, the most recent series of Power Rangers was under Hasbro, so maybe they thought Hasbro might like this and they didn't take it. Excuse me, that's exactly what I think of that. The only gripe I've got about this mode in the show, however, this whole gun, is that I don't recall it shooting the concrete like how the mixer does in Bulkenja. I think it just shoots generic laser blasts. I would have liked it if it shot concrete out, because it would have been like the Go-Go mixer from Bulkenja again. So it feels like a kind of wasted opportunity not to have that. But yeah, whatever. I'm pretty sure they've got their reasoning. Again, they've done some nice jobs on the actual gun laser point. They've done it they've done it in a different colour, which I do like. So yeah. So it feels like they had more. It feels like I'm getting the overall like sneaking suspicion that they had more than a few ideas for these vehicles. Because like for example, they could have done a crane. Honestly the recycling truck does seem like a kind of random choice, but whatever. I mean, it fits with the whole vehicle theme, doesn't it? Yeah, I do get the feeling that they had more than a few ideas for these, like I said. They could have done the whole Bulkenja vibe again. They could have done like a crane, like a dump truck or something. I know that they technically tried this already with Kiramager, because they had Mashin Shovelo, who was like an excavator. And these 3 Mashin here, these are part of a thing called the Shovelo Corps, I think. So I think they did try to bring the whole mix, the whole construction idea back. Although it would make more sense if they took away Carry and replaced it with a Magellan, because that, like, is this a construction vehicle? Nah. So it feels like they would have had more success putting off like a construction team aesthetic if they had 3 construction vehicles, but yeah. It feels like this whole lot could have been a construction vehicle theme, because if you don't count this as a construction vehicle, then that meant that they only had like 2 to replace them with, which was Dust On and Carry. And again, I am willing to place my bets on them having more than a few ideas for these vehicles, because they had like Borkenja for like reference material. They could have done a bunch more ideas. They could have introduced, as I said before at the start, they could have done at least 2 more. They could have been a crane or a dump truck, like I said before. They could have done a few more ideas. But yeah, they were probably limited based on the fact that, yeah, again, these did come out in 2020. COVID was a thing that maybe did not really stop them from production. I mean, I'm certainly inclined to think so, but still, 5 ain't bad. 5 ain't bad because, again, it feels like, because don't forget, these 3 here they released in the first quarter. These 2 here, I think they came out in the second quarter. If these are relatively small sets, yeah, I do believe that they could have done 4 more, like for the third quarter and the fourth quarter. I can believe that, because they could have done some kind of super powered one for the Kiramager's quarter, which was the fourth quarter. They could have done like a power up, because they could have done one relating to like Grateful Phoenix, for example, which is the final end robot, because that obviously had a different vibe. That was gold, so they could have done like a gold vehicle, for instance. But yeah, I can kind of understand why they didn't want to do that, since Mashin Hackable, I think, is about the same scale as one of these. So maybe they did want to do that, and they thought, why not? Let's just put it as a Megazord, because it does kind of feel like a Mashin. It does feel like they could have done at least 2 more of these for the third quarter, because I don't know, in my opinion, these things are great. If you have all of them, if you have just a few, I think they do look nice on the shelf. I'm just going to say that. I mean, again, you can display them in stone mode. I think they look just as presentable in stone mode as they do in vehicle mode, just because of their colours alone. Again, if you have Kiramager, if you have the other Robos in the Kiramager line, of course all the colours will go together. But do these really work as weapons when being held by the Megazords? No, I don't think so. I think for display purposes, I think these guys work based on the colours and the overall appearance. It doesn't really matter if a Megazord's using them, in my opinion, because I think if you were to have Megazords holding these, I think these would kind of overshadow the Megazord's appearance. I think the Megazord should be, I think the Kiramager line should be admired for its colours and the whole dual aesthetic, because that's what one of the main themes are. And also the fact that this was the first Sentai series to be themed to jewels, so I think having them in stone mode, vehicle mode, it does make them presentable just because of the nice colouring on their own, especially if you can get some flashy little lights like this and make the colours sparkle a bit more, because this does look nice. Look, they're glowing even, because the light is like it's going through all of them, going through the body. So if you have if you have a good setup, these do work as stones vehicles, again based on the colours. If you have some lights equipped in your display casing, these things will look nice. Look, like the colours do shine a bit more if there's a light up close. The lights shouldn't really affect the overall appearance, but they should make them just look that bit nicer. I don't know why I'm talking about them. I think I just like them that much, because I think I'm a sucker for small vehicles. I think Transformers maybe that way, I don't know. So yes, in short, if Hasbro were to get a hold of these, there's not really much way they could trash them, because honestly, they're actually quite simple in design. Although, yeah, I can see Hasbro removing the little stone mode. The stone mode is what really ties all this together, because it makes them become like a triple change. So they go from stone mode to vehicle mode to weapon mode. That's a triple change, that is. I do not want Hasbro getting their hold of these, because I mean, if they were to just make them not like jewel like, because the whole jewel like consistency just of the plastic does really give them the whole jewel aesthetic. So I wouldn't want Hasbro to focus on the vehicles side and not the jewels side, because honestly, vehicles and jewels, when both ideas have combined, you get a good result like this. if you were to make them leaning into the vehicles, that would be ignoring the plastic colour, that would be ignoring the sparkle, and the sparkle is what really sets these guys apart from the rest of the Sentai Zords. So yeah, if Hasbro were to get hold of these in the life, they were to adapt to Kiramager and release these as toys, they probably wouldn't do a really good job. I mean, for a start, they'd probably leave out these two and only do these three, because they always like to miss out Zord in the Zord line, which is a gigantic pain in the bum. Which is, I don't want that to happen again, because that happened with Beast Morphers and Dino Fury. Anyway, the next video on the channel is, oh goodness, it's going to be a bit of an advanced one. It's going to be actually a bit of an advanced series, actually. It's going to be like a mini-series, because I got something from True Sentai Kiramager. I got the Caesar Blaster. And I found a way to hack it. So yeah, if you want more information on that, do stay tuned for the next video. Very, very important stuff coming in that video. Yeah. Also, this whole hacking thing, it will be kind of taken to the extremes of it, because I've actually written, and I've tried my best to compile a list of every sound this guy's got it programmed into it, but we'll get into that in the next video. So again, if you want to see that, stay tuned.